Old buildings can be an embarrassing eyesore or a valuable asset. In this program, we look at a project in the South Island of New Zealand, where the restoration of a group of old and unused buildings has inspired significant job creation and increased business activity in the town. Back in the 1850s, the Port of Oamaru developed quickly to service the rich farmlands of New Zealand's Waitaki district. By the 1880s, local limestone, or whitestone, had been quarried and carved into a solid commercial centre. But as the town grew, it spread away from its beginnings, and it left behind a group of limestone buildings that threatened to become derelict. But they now promise Oamaru a heritage-led employment revival.
Years ago, the area was and still is the most unique collection of 19th century buildings in the whole of New Zealand, and the area was very run down, very dilapidated, buildings in a poor state of disrepair. A small group of community leaders got together one afternoon right down in this area and started to develop the idea that this is unique, we should be doing something to preserve it and to turn it to our competitive advantage. At the time, we were in really high unemployment. We had the highest unemployment since the Depression years of the 30s. So one of the clear focuses was to look at how we could generate new job opportunities, establish new businesses and preserve the area at the same time as a visitor destination. And also we were looking at the spin-offs. If we could attract more visitors into the town, what would those spin-offs be in terms of the local economy, strengthening the existing businesses and creating new opportunities within the area. And that is now quite evident. 10 years down the track, we have a number of new businesses that have moved into the area who can see what the vision is, and so we're quite excited about that. One example, a recent example, is a traditional bookbinder who shifted to Oamaru from the North Island. He had heard about what was being developed in the area, and he set up his workshop, very authentic bookbindery, and he's generated a lot of interest.
I didn't come here to be part of a tourist act, and that's really important. I came here because I like the town, and I hope that there'll be more people like me who will live the life. My life illusion, as it were, is that of a somewhat quirky 19th century gentleman. I can live my life illusion in a place like this, whereas trying to do that in Auckland, or if I was in Australia, Sydney or Brisbane, someplace like that, is almost impossible.
Another lady has purchased one of the old wool stores, and she's converted that into a business display centre and also an area where a number of craftspeople are selling their goods, and it's a cafeteria and a coffee shop.
Alan and I both had different ideas of what we wanted to do, and it was just a chance of having a building where we could do both our ideas in one building. The cafes created employment through the staff running that, but the upstairs and the crafts and the displays, I suppose in a way, creates the opportunity for self-employment.
And there's another business making period furniture, and that operation takes in three of the historic buildings.
Well, basically we were in this town and had to make a decision on whether to stay here or move out to get the size of facilities that we required, really, John. And this was the one opportunity in North Otago where we had the room to grow to the size that we are now. We've grown from basically a 6-man operation to a 40 plus, and there's an opportunity to grow slightly bigger yet. It gives us the opportunity to work in an environment that was relevant in time to the products that we're producing. Everything we produce is from a similar period, and we were able to do it with the feel as it would have been done, people making the original products.
We've got the Oamaru Steam and Rail Restoration Group, and they've restored a beautiful old steam train and carriages, and they run that on special days. There's the North Otago Art Society, and they've taken on one of the buildings and set up an art gallery. There's the main town art gallery just at the entrance to the precinct as well. So we have a small theatre where this plays run pretty well throughout the year. So there's lots of activities happening, and what we're working on now is building in other things for visitors to see. We've found in the past where people have been coming into the area, not everyone just wants to look at historic buildings, they're wanting things to do as well. So last year we started to manufacture penny farthings. As a special promotional event, we now hold the New Zealand National Penny Farthing and Veteran Cycle Championships right around the historic area. And that's generating a lot of interest. So we're working towards, when tours are coming into the area, having people in Victorian attire and really creating the old Victorian town at work scene. And that's it's really exciting, and it's very tangible results of 10 years of a lot of voluntary work by many, many people.
The results are impressive, but they are achieved only after a careful process of community involvement, using the media and taking advantage of available government programs.
In 1986 there was a paper put together, a combination of local people's ideas on what they would like to see happen with the area, the types of ideas for new businesses that could operate in the area. And that paper was circulated to a number of people in the community, and the first public meeting was called, talking about getting more support for the idea. And there was good support. People, although they saw that it was a big task and a long-term project, there was good support. So much so that the following year there was $42,000 raised for a detailed feasibility study on all the buildings in the area. And following that, the recommendation was to restore the area and to promote and market it as an old Victorian town at work.
An important factor throughout the project is to convince the local government and business communities of the exciting potential of the development.
Yes, there's been plenty of scepticism in the town, and there's still the sector there that believe that we're wasting our time.
I didn't originally think this whole development, and this is some years ago, was feasible. I didn't think it was possible. I thought it was too big, that there'd be no great interest in it. But gradually I came over to the view that in fact it was possible, that the potential was there, and I developed it and embraced it enthusiastically. And I think that's what's happening. More and more people are getting enthusiastic about it as they see the potential unfolding before them. This building we're in was abandoned by the post office, left derelict for probably a year. No one was picking it up. We picked it up as a district council headquarters and took it on as a project to reinstate it and get it refurbished, and that created a lot of work. $2.5 million was spent on this one building. That was local employment opportunities for people sharing their skills.
When you live in an area, you often take things for granted. The old saying, familiarity breeds contempt. I see the town as awakening out of a deep sleep at the moment and realising how lucky we are to have these buildings here.
The success of this type of project is really critical that the wider community feels that they're part of it. They've actually helped to shape the future of that project, and that takes a lot of time. It takes skilled people to go in and help groups to plan projects through and to help them identify the potentials and to help them put in place the infrastructure and to raise the funding and to do the studies that are needed and to get, there's so many different components to getting a project like this underway. But if all the steps are taken carefully and people are kept up to speed, then the potential is really quite exciting, and that's what we're excited about in Oamaru.
As we have seen, the achievements at Oamaru demonstrate some of the outcomes that are possible when you work creatively with a heritage asset. And as David has detailed, the key factors in the success of such a project include the vision to see the potential of the development, community involvement, energetic leadership, expert advice, and careful planning.